Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to tackle a question that most likely many of us secretly ask ourselves, and definitely I can be included here. And the question is, do I frequently seek approval and reassurance from other people? And asking for reassurance and approval is a human thing, right? But when that becomes a dominant pattern, that's when it can significantly impact our well-being and also our sense of self. In today's video, we are going to explore the fascinating psychology and also neuroscience of why we crave this external validation, what drives this behavior, and most importantly, we're gonna be also looking at how we can cultivate a strong sense of self-worth and self-acceptance. At its core, seeking approval and reassurance, it's about looking to others to validate our thoughts, feelings, choices, or worth. It's a natural part of social connection. We all want to be liked and accepted. However, it becomes a concern when our self-worth becomes overly dependent on external validation, leading to anxiety, indecision, and feeling that we are constantly performing for an audience. So now think about it. Do you hesitate to express an opinion until you gauge the room? Do you constantly check your likes and comments after posting something online? Do you double guess your decisions until someone confirms them? And all these, they can be subtle signs of deeper need for reassurance. So now let's think where these tendencies that might be coming from. Very often they might be rooted in our developmental experiences. Our earliest relationships, particularly with prime caregivers, play a huge role. If caregivers were inconsistent in their responses, or if their love and approval felt conditional, we might learn to constantly seek external cues to feel safe and valued. We internalize the idea that our worth is tied to how others perceive us. Secondly, we learn by observing and imitating others, and by consequences of our actions. So, if we were consistently praised for conforming or for pleasing others, we learn that seeking approval leads to positive reinforcement. Conversely, if expressing our authentic selves led to criticism or rejection, we learn to suppress those parts of ourselves in favor of what's acceptable to others. And thirdly, a fragile sense of self-esteem often fuels the need for external validation. When we don't have a strong, stable internal sense of our own worth, we rely on others to fill that void. And this unfortunately creates a precarious foundation as our self-worth fluctuates with every compliment or criticism. And lastly, at the fundamental level, we humans are a social creature, so being ostracized from a group historically meant a threat to our survival. And this primal fear can drive us to seek constant reassurance that we are accepted and won't be cast out. Now let's have a look at the neuroscience behind all this. Our brains are wired for social connection, and there is neurobiological basis for why acceptance feels good and rejection feels painful. So first of all, when we receiving positive feedback or when we accept it, that activates a brain's reward system, releasing dopamine. And this neurotransmitter is associated with pleasure and motivation, reinforcing the behavior of seeking approval. It literally feels good to be validated, creating a powerful feedback loop. Conversely, social rejection, disapproval activates brain similar regions as physical pain, such as the anterior cingulate cortex and insula. This social pain signals a threat to our existence, making us instinctively try to avoid it by seeking reassurance. In our modern world, the sociocultural factors that only amplify this tendency, and specifically social media platforms, they've created this constant and quantifiable feedback loop for external validation. So when we post something online and when the posts are being liked, when the content has positive feedback, when maybe people they share our content, that then helps us to release dopamine. On the other hand, when maybe there is lack of engagement, maybe when there's a negative feedback, that then creates this social pain. And this digital environment trains us to constantly seek external cues for our worth, making it harder to cultivate this intrinsic self-esteem. And furthermore, many cultures emphasize conformity, group harmony, or external achievements as a primary measure of success and value, which then can foster the approval-seeking behavior. And sadly, when this need for the approval becomes chronic, this can have significant consequences for us. So first of all, we might suppress our values, our opinions, our personality to fit in, to please other people. But then as a result of that, we might be really losing this touch with who we are, and we might start feeling really disconnected with ourselves. Secondly, this constant worry about what other people think about us, how they perceive us, can create chronic anxiety and exhaustion. Thirdly, we might also struggle with making certain choices or taking certain decisions, constantly needing this external validation and approval and confirmation that what we're deciding is the right thing. But then as a consequence of that, we will be sacrificing our self-trust. And lastly, as a consequence of constantly putting others, people, perceived needs first before our own, that then can create in us sense of bitterness and resentment. But the good news is that by becoming aware about this unhealthy pattern, we can shift it and build a stronger foundation for the intrinsic self-worth. You can start by noticing why and when you're seeking approval, what triggers it, and what are you trying to achieve in those situations. And here, journaling can be a powerful tool, and you can simply guide your journal entries using questions that I've just asked you. Secondly, try to have a better understanding of your past experiences and your vulnerabilities, where most likely this behavior of seeking approval is stemming from. And by having that awareness, that will allow you to be more kind to yourself, not judgmental. And then as well, as a result of that, you're going to be able to make positive changes. And thirdly, identify what truly matters to you. When your actions align with your core values, your sense of worth comes from within, not from the external validation. And also, if you would like to learn more about this, then I would encourage you to go and watch this video. Also, setting boundaries. So, being able to say no, express your opinions in a respectful way, prioritizing your needs. These are all really important, although they can be very challenging, but they can contribute to self-respect. And if you would like to learn more about how to set healthy boundaries with other people, with yourself, with social media, then I will encourage you to go to my YouTube channel and look for the folder called Boundaries. And also, when you notice that your inner critic becomes very loud, when it creates a lot of distress for you, that is the time when you need to start challenging it. And on my channel, I have many videos where I go into detail explaining how to deal with the inner critic voice. And lastly, if the approval seeking is deeply ingrained and causing you significant distress, And if you feel that you've tried different things yourself and nothing really is helping you, nothing is working, a therapist can provide tools and strategies to heal underlying wounds and build healthy self-esteem. Specifically, cognitive behavior therapy, which is the CBT, and attachment-based therapy can be particularly helpful here. In conclusion, we can say that seeking approval and reassurance is our human tendency that is also impacted by our biology, our development, and also our social environment. But it doesn't have to define us. And by understanding its roots and actively working to cultivate inner validation, we can free ourselves from the constant pursuit of external acceptance and step into a more authentic, confident, and peaceful way of being. So that will be it for today, and if this video resonated with you, if you enjoy watching it, then please like it, subscribe, and also if you feel that someone could benefit from watching it, then please share it with them. And also let me know in comment section that one step that you will take today to build your inner validation. I would love to hear from you, and I'm gonna see you in the next one then. Thank you, bye bye.